Hello students, in this problem we're going to factor out a greatest common factor. Our expression is 78y to the 12th plus 30y to the 7th. I'm going to use factoring trees and the process of using prime factors to find our greatest common factor. So as we consider this coefficient 78, beginning to factor it, we can write it as 2 times 39, and 39 is 3 times 13. So that first term, 78y to the 12th, written in prime factorization, is 2 times 3 times 13 and times our y to the 12th. Doing likewise with our second term, I'm going to start our factors of 30 with 2 times 15. You can begin with any factors that you choose there. I just chose randomly 2 times 15. 15 factors as 3 times 5. And so we can see that 30 factors as 2 times 3 times 5. So this term, 30y to the 7th, written in prime factored form, is 2 times 3 times 5 times y to the 7th. Now to determine our greatest common factor, we look for factors that are common to both factorizations. We see this factor of 2 in both of them. It's common to both, so it is included in our greatest common factor. 3 is common to both as well, so it is included. The 13 and 5 are not common to both, but we do see this factor of y common to both, and this gets a little bit tricky here. Notice your exponents. The largest exponent is 12, the smaller exponent is 7, and we can see that there is a y to the 7th that is in both of these. There are some extra factors of y in this first term, but they each have at least y to the 7th. So using our least exponent there, we're going to go with our y to the 7th. Now that we've found our greatest common factor, which is 6y to the 7th, let's complete our factorization. So back to the top, we're just going to rewrite this in a product or a form that uses multiplication, where one factor is 6y to the 7th, and our other factors. So now we just look at our 78y to the 12th and think, well, 6y to the 7th times what is going to give us that? Well, 6 times 13 gives 78, and y to the 7th times y to the 5th, adding exponents, gives y to the 12th. We've got a plus symbol in between our terms, and continuing. 6 times 5 gives 30, and we've already got our y to the 7th. And so our factored form is 6y to the 7th times, in parentheses, we've got 13y to the 5th plus 5. And that is our answer. But let's go ahead and check this. You can check all of your factoring problems by just multiplying them back out. So let's check by multiplying 6y to the 7th times 13y to the 5th plus 5. And here we're just going to use our distributive property and distribute. 6 times 13. Now you may not need a calculator for this multiplication, but if you do, remember that we're going to use a 4-function style of calculator. It's going to look something like this, not a scientific calculator, okay? 6 times 13 is 78, though. I don't think we can do that. Y to the 7th times y to the 5th, adding exponents, is y to the 12th. 6y to the 7th times 5 is 30. Y to the 7th, and that's going to give exactly what we started with up top. So this checks out just fine. And there we have an example of factoring by factoring out a greatest common factor.